Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Loop Learnings, and this is video number 16, and we are going to continue to work on data entry forms. Rest assured, I think this video and the next video we are done with the data entry forms, because most of the forms that we wanted to create have been created already. So except two forms, so for example payroll and payroll lines. So I'm going to touch upon that in this video, but we have to do a little bit of other work as well. Before I proceed next, I have two things to talk about. First, if you hear any background noise or my voiceover is not as good as it should be, I apologize for that, because the reason is I'm sitting in quite a noisy area. I have to record a video, and so I'm sorry if you hear any kind of people talking behind me, or things are moving around, so apologize for that. Second, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I don't know why you haven't, click on that big red button, subscribe, hit the bell icon as well so you get notification whenever I upload any video. Let's get started with this video. So as I said, I'm going to touch upon one of these two forms. So we are going to create payroll form in this video, but before we move ahead and create payroll form, we were working on in the previous video we created payment info form to record the payout information. So for example, to capture whether the employee would pay we would pay employee through cash or the bank transfer, etc. So that information is captured. Now the question is how we are going to build the mechanism so we can see what information we have stored for each employee, and if we want to make updates to existing information, how do we do that? So before I proceed and create a payroll form, what I would like to do is I would like to build a mechanism through which this form can be opened and data can be modified and updated and data can be created as well. So let's close that. So best way I think is by going to the employee profile. So if I go here, let's say I'll go to the form view. So at the moment you see three different tabs. So first tab shows the general information, second tab about compensation, and third tab is about compensation change. Now I want to have another tab which shows the payout information, right? So and at that tab should have a button and perhaps a list box. Yeah, that would be enough for this. So let's go ahead and go to the design view. Let's go ahead and create a new tab. How do we do that? So we select this tab control and we right click, and then we choose the option insert page, right? So the page is inserted. We go to the form design property sheet, and I go to the other tab and I go change the name of this tab. So I will say payout info, right? That is enough. Now next thing I would like to do is to have a list box in it. Now to have a list box, I'll go to the form design, I'll go to the controls. Under the controls we have a list box, right? And I will just drag and drop the list box in here, so nicely. Actually we don't need this much bigger list box for this, but just to make sure that we are aligned with the height of the form, I just create it in that way. Now we have the list box. Let's change the name of this list box quickly. So list payout. Okay, I would like to reduce the size of the font to 10, and I would like to have a button here similar to this button. So we'll go to the form design, fetch the control called button, and I'm going to drop in here, and I'm going to cancel it, and I'm going to change the name, the caption of this button. So the caption would be create new payout info. Okay, something like that. Then I'm going to do a little bit of formatting for this button. So I'll go to the format button, I'll go to the quick style, I'll select this blue one, and I change the height And now let's see what is the height of this button. So we would like to keep the same height, so the height is 0.589 centimeter. I'll select that, and height here is 0.589. Now at the moment this has rounded shapes, so let's keep the same design pattern, we'll change it to rectangle. Now we'll increase the width of this button to have everything in it, and I would like to have a little icon here, like a plus sign or something. So we'll go to the picture here and the property sheet, ... and there's a pen query button. Okay, I want the text also, the caption. So what I would do is I would go to the journal. Okay, simple as that. Okay, done. Now next thing, I would like to change the name, and we'll go to the other tab and we'll change the name btn create payout. Okay, that is enough. Now that is done. Now let's hook this list box with the data. At the moment there is no data in it, so we'll go to the property sheet of this list box. So we'll go to the data tab, I will go to the row source, and I click on ... and I choose from this list, I choose payout info table, and I choose ID, employee ID, I choose the payout type, choose the bank, account, and IBM. That is enough. Now how many columns are there? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 6 columns, but we'll count it 5 because in Access World the first column is counted as 0. So 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's go to the property sheet of this list box. We'll go to the format tab, and list count would be 0, column count would be 6, sorry. So the first column holds the ID field. We do need it, but it's not really important to show it, so we'll hide it by typing in 0. Second column has the employee ID. Again, very important information to have, but we would not need that in this particular to show in that particular scenario, so we'll hide that as well. Column, and the third column, hang on, what was the third column? The type, right? And third column is the type, so we'll say 3 centimeter. Fourth column was bank name, I guess, 3 centimeter. Fifth column was I guess the account, 3 centimeter again, and the rest is for the IBAN number. Now one thing I would like to do, I forgot to do it actually. I will go to the row source, ... and in here we will give a criteria. So the criteria would be forms, exclamation mark, emp profile f, exclamation mark, what do we want? Emp ID. Okay, this is where we're going to refer to emp ID. All right, if you don't do that, you will have all the payroll payout information record here. You would not. We want to have only the payout information record for this particular employee, right? That's why you have to do that binding. You have to give that criteria so system can understand. By the way, if you are coming from the Urdu channel, I have Urdu channel, so if you're watch the same video in there in Urdu or Hindi language, and if you're watching this, I forgot to actually do this in the Urdu or Hindi language, so I'll try my level best to give the criteria, or I'll tell in the editing word. Okay, so that needs to be done. That is done. So if I go to the form view and I go to the payout info, and you see in here we do have the information, but one thing is missing, the headers of this list box. So we'll go to the design view, I select the list box, we'll go to the form design, and we'll go to the format, and in here column heads, we'll turn them on, and I will go to the form view again. Let's see that now it is much better. We have the headers and we have the information. Now if I want to modify this information, I should be able to double click on it, and I should be able to have this form open, so I can give a bank name, account number, etc., whatever information I want to change. So that means we have to build that, and I should be able to create a new payroll payout information as well. So let's do a little bit of VBA coding. So we'll go to the design view. I go to the first to this list box. I go to the event tab. I go to the on double click event I will build. So dot code builder, and in here, first thing first, I'm going to pick copy and paste. So on error resume next. This is the code block for error handling, and in here I'm going to provide a little bit of coding. So if is null, if is null, me dot list payout dot column 0 is equal to true, then do cmd dot beep message box. This action cannot be performed as no record exists to display. Okay, comma, we be critical, comma, and header would be information. Else if no, there's nothing else if, so we should be fine with that. Else do cmd dot open form. Which form we want to open? We have to give the form name, and this is the form payout info f. So I'm going to, just to avoid any error, I'm going to copy the name of the form and I'm going to paste in here, so you know we get the right form opened when we want. All right, that is done. And now next we are going to do VB coding behind the create new payout info. So I go to the event tab again, I go to the on click event, and I go to dot code builder in here, and I'm going to first thing first, on error resume next. That's the error handling code, very important. Please make sure that you have something related to error handling. Now in here, first thing I want to have some conditions checked, right? So if a user clicks on this button, first thing the system should check that whether this form has currently any data displayed or not. If not, then throw an error that, hey, Mr. or Miss User, please select the employee information first in order to proceed and do the to create a new record. So that's the first logic. Second logic, if the status of this employee is inactive, then make sure that you give an error and say this action cannot be performed because the employee is inactive. If both of these conditions are false, then open this form, okay, to add a new payout record. That's the logics we are going to build in this particular system code block. So we'll say if is null, and I have to refer to this form, this field like this, forms, and emp profile f exclamation mark, what is the name of the field? Emp id is equal to true, then do cmd.beep message box, and this action cannot be performed as no record has been selected yet, okay, comma, we be critical, yeah, because this is an error and information is as a header. Next, else if forms exclamation mark emp profile f exclamation mark status is equal to inactive, right? If the status is inactive, then do cmd.beep message box, this action cannot be performed as the employee has been marked inactive. Okay, these are the business logics that needs to be built into the system. Okay, next, if both of these conditions are false, then go ahead and open the form. So we'll say do cmd dot open form. Now I have to give the form name. So again, I would copy the same form name just to avoid any error or mistakes, and I would be opening it in the add new record mode. Okay, now once that form is open, what I would like to do is I would like to get the employee ID from the employee profile form, and I would like to replicate that into this form, which will be opened here, right? To do that, what I would do is forms exclamation mark. Again, I would go give the same form name, and emp ID is equal to forms exclamation mark emp profile. Okay, here emp profile f exclamation mark emp ID. That would actually copy this line of code, would copy the employee ID from this form and would replicate in this form, which is the right way to do it. Okay, and then the code block will be closed with end if. So we have debugged it. There is no error as of now, so this seems to be working well. Okay, so the code is done. We'll go to form view actually, and we'll go to the payment info tab, and I double click on it, and it seems that our code is perfectly working fine. Let's give a bank name. So we'll give World Bank Corporation, something like that. I'm just giving, and the account number World Bank Corporation 111111111, whatever. I just gave random information. Save it. It seems to be working fine. If I go and if I save in here, and we will have a refresh. If you have refresh code block, then it should work fine. So if I open now employee profile, it should show the updated information. That's how you actually build the mechanism to create new payout information or update the existing one. All right, so that part is done. Now next is we would like to create another form called payroll, right, to record the payroll information, and we will follow the same procedure, same method. So for example, I'm going to copy a existing form. Let's copy this one and Control V, and we'll say payroll F. That's the form name, and I'm going to go to right click in here, and I'm going to delete everything. And first thing first, I'm going to change the caption of this form. So we'll call it, instead of manage claims information, we'll call it payroll information. Next, we would like to change the record source for this particular form, and that would be payroll. Okay, next I would like to change the dimensions, the size of this form. Okay, so we'll increase this form width and height a little bit, because we are going to have the information on this form. We'll have a list box as well. So now we already have the table linked. Let's see how it looks like. It's a blank form, pretty nice. Let's go to design view, and let's go to the form design. Let's click on add existing fields, and then I'm going to click on the existing fields, drag and drop, right click, layout, stack. We'll go to the home tab. I'll change the color to black. I go to the arrange tab. I go to the position area and narrow, and I select this. I expand the size and bold them, make them bold. What is that? Make them bold, and payroll ID, and in here created on. So do a little bit of formatting, fiscal year, fiscal month, approval status, whether it is approved or not, approved by, approved on, what is the status, and updated on. Okay, now that is done. Let me change the width again just to ensure. Okay, we'll select all the fields, right click on it, layout, remove the layout, and now we're going to align them where we want to have these fields. Let's have approval information all together. That's good. Let's have status in here and updated on in here. Next thing I would like to do is select layout, stack, and narrow. Okay, let's change the width of the labels a little bit. Okay, let us stack these as well. Arrange, padding, narrow, and in here let's stack them as well. Arrange, control padding, narrow. Okay, that looks good. Now I want to make some of the fields as non-editable fields, or non-editable fields means these fields, and updated on, these all will be non-editable. So we'll go to the property sheet of these fields. Okay, property sheet, data, enabled no, locked yes. We'll go to the format tab and we'll change the background color. Okay, this is maybe too dark, so let's make the little lighter. All right, now these two, fiscal year, fiscal month, we are going to convert into the combo box. Let's do that. So right click on it, change to combo box, and we go to the row source and we link these actually combo box to the respective table, and that's why we go to the row source dot dot dot. We go into query builder, we choose the fiscal year, we fetch two fields only, ID and fiscal year, and I go to the form design, we go to the property sheet, format tab, column count 2, first column 0, second column 1, and right click on the fiscal month, do the similar action. We'll combo box, we'll go to the data tab, row source dot dot dot, fiscal month, ID, fiscal month, there we go, close it, form design, property sheet, format, column count 2, first column 0, second column 1 centimeter, and that's about it. So I would like to have a list box here as well. So let's go to the form design, let's go to the controls, and let's pick a list box. Let's drag and drop in here. Okay, cancel it. Let's delete that label. Let's select the list box. We'll go to the home tab. I'll go to the and change the font size and the color. Okay, that is enough. Let's reduce the size of it. Now let's see how it looks like. Okay, pretty good. Alrighty. Now I wanted to make just the skeleton of the payroll form, and so when we come back in the next video, we are going to create the payroll lines form as well. Payroll lines form will actually hold the information of what payment we are going to make to the employee as a payroll. So that's about it. I hope that you have learned something in this video as well. Even if you have not, please do let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. That's about it for now. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.